I started the week that the world shut down with COVID. At that point for me, I knew that it was sink or swim, and I had a decision to make. I wasn't going to let so many unknowns in our world shatter everything that I had worked so hard for.
You did 353 units last year for over 130 million. That is quite impressive. And there are a lot of people out there asking questions like, how can I do that too? So I'd love if you can start us off with, tell us a little bit about you in 2 minutes or less, Stephanie.
Sure. So I'm a wife and a mom. I spent 17 years as a stay-at-home mom, and kind of coming out of that period of my life, I knew that I had always wanted to be involved in real estate. So kind of put together a 5-year plan, wanted my kids to be a little bit older before I jumped into real estate. I'm very much a 110% kind of person. So I knew that I wanted my kids to be a little bit older so that I could give the business my all. Some of my desire to be in real estate spawned out of my cancer journey. I battled with cancer twice within the last 15 years.
Wow.
And it really just precipitated this yearning and desire in me to start checking off my bucket list early and, tackling things in life that many times people look back with regret because they never did. Or things that they wish they had tried at some point, but maybe waited till later in life. So real estate just happened to be one of those things for me.
Yeah, what a journey. And so I'm assuming then, Stephanie, you're dealing with such an incredible level of personal journey, and to take that and bring that into the real estate world. How did that happen?
You look at life differently, and you have a new perspective after you go through something so traumatic in life. Sometimes you can take something like that and walk away from it and, hide in a hole and look at life through, dark glasses. I've chosen coming out of that part of my life to live my life out loud with joy and with purpose, wanting to give and to serve other people. And real estate for me really was about serving people. It's a way for me to connect with people. It's not always about, finding a dream home for someone. Many times there's a death or a divorce. There's life that we all go through.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was about being passionate about connecting puzzle pieces for people and serving and meeting those needs.
What a journey, not only for yourself, but for your kids. I'm sure it's been a blast for them to watch you go from brand new agent to 130 million in the Atlanta area. So you have to tell everybody, Stephanie, what are you doing right now that is crushing it and getting you to this level of business?
Honestly, for me, the biggest thing is communication and follow-up. I'm very much a people person, so connecting with my clients early on in the process is really important. Very relational. I don't look at anything really just as a transaction. So as simple as that sounds, that really has everything to do with my success. I'm working with clients now that maybe I started talking to a year ago or 2 years ago. But staying in touch, the follow through, the, checking in from time to time, but not sleeping on anything.
That's so amazing. And knowing that our core tenets, of course, are leads, listings, and leverage, getting to 353 units, which one of those are you crushing right now? I'm assuming you're not doing all of that all by yourself.
No, I would say, the listings are really what my main focus is at this point. I just started in the business about 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
So I came in as a buyer's agent, working on a team. And, the way our team model was set up at the time is you come in as a buyer's agent, and over time you then, can start taking listings. And just with the way that I'm organized in my follow-up and follow-through, was given that opportunity after a period of time to take listings. I love working with buyers. I would say the majority of the buyers that I do work with are coming from out of state. I've lived here in the Atlanta area for about 36 years now. And having lived in different pockets of Atlanta, I'm very familiar with, the communities, the parks, the school systems, and understanding how people want to work, live, and play when they move to Atlanta. I can kind of help them navigate maybe which side of Atlanta is the best option for them. So those are the buyers that I really enjoy working with. But otherwise, very heavy on the listing side. I'd say about 85 to 90% of my business is on the listing side.
Wow. Love it. That definitely allows you more time with those precious kiddos at home too, I'm assuming.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit more about the model that you follow. So it sounds like you're really dependent upon the way that you do your follow-up. So can you walk us through what does that look like from step one to the final step of that client is ready to go and is working with you?
Even though I lean heavily into a CRM, and I am very old school and traditional. I love pen and paper. I'm using my Google Calendar and I'm using my CRM, but I like to see things written down. I like to check off those boxes. So I do have, a handwritten calendar, and I keep different lists for me as to where my clients are in the process. And I'll update those regularly. That gives me a visual. So that each day I'm looking to see, these are my newer clients. So these are the touches that they need at this point in the process. Just the introduction, I think, is so very important. I want my clients not to ever look at me as just a door opener or, somebody who's just going to, write a contract for them to help them sell their home. I want them to understand that we are going to get close and we're going to get to know each other, and we may be friends on the other side of this, once we get you to the closing table, which is very much the case, but that's how important the relationship is to me. So I even kind of set that expectation from the beginning. But just the constant communication, the touches.
So follow-up is the key to your business, is what I'm hearing, and passion and drive from your family and what you've experienced in your personal life. So is there anything else that we missed talking about that helps you drive this level of business to your company?
For me, again, it was a matter of coming in, checking off a bucket list item, doing something that I knew I would be passionate about and excited about. I started the week that the world shut down with COVID.
Wow.
March 9th was my first day in the office, and that was a Monday. Friday, March 13th, our office shut down. At that point for me, I knew that it was sink or swim, and I had a decision to make. And within a matter of just a couple of days, I decided I was going to swim. I had worked too hard. I had, fought to create this 5-year plan leading up to that moment.
Yeah.
Putting things in place with my family, working hard to get licensed. And I wasn't going to let so many unknowns in our world shatter everything that I had worked so hard for. So honestly, for me, it's the drive and the determination not to let something like a worldwide pandemic slow me down or stop my dreams in their tracks. So that very much really has carried on in my day-to-day over the last 2.5 years. There's been so much of, I don't know what I don't know. And so I ask a lot of questions. I'm not afraid of asking those questions. And I don't know what the ceiling is of anything. My director of operations kind of always laughs at me because I don't sometimes know where my numbers are, where our team's numbers are. And I'm like, my head's down, I'm moving forward, I'm working. Yeah. And that's kind of been my approach, but really the drive and the determination from my perspective coming out of my cancer journey, and then, being put up against a wall with the pandemic to make a decision very quickly as to whether I was going to survive in this industry, and making the choice just to barrel through.
Well, what an incredible journey, Stephanie, in just really less than 3 years, right? You've accomplished so much, and you've done so much with both tech and sounds like some basic tech stack, right? Your phone, pencil and paper. And it just goes to show for those who are watching that you can be anywhere you want to be in 5 years or less. Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing with us today.